Melina, and I'm a part of Professor Pittman's Geology 305 class at Folsom Lake College. And today we will be talking about living in Northern California and the risks of living here. So come and join me and learn. Here we are in San Francisco, one of the most visited cities in the world. But what people forget about San Francisco is that we live in a major earthquake fault line. The 1906 San Francisco earthquake struck the coast of Northern California at 5:12 a.m. on Wednesday, April 18, with an estimated moment of magnitude of 7.9. Devastating fires soon broke out in the city, and as a result, up to 3,000 people died and over 80% of the city of San Francisco was destroyed. The death toll remains the greatest loss of life from a natural disaster in California's history. Relatively recently, in 1989, the Loma Puerta earthquake occurred in Northern California on October 17, with a moment magnitude of 6.9 and a maximum Mercalli intensity of violent. The shock was responsible for 63 deaths and 3,757 injuries. People don't think that major earthquakes can hit at any time, nor do they understand that the faults are moving every day.
We're crossing the new span of the rebuilt Bay Bridge that crosses the East Bay, where the Hayward Fault is at, into San Francisco, where the San Andreas Fault runs. This bridge was constructed after the 1989 Loma Puerta earthquake near Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz is 90 minutes south from here, which caused this section of the bridge to collapse.
This is the old bridge, and this is what remains. During the Loma Puerta earthquake, a piece had collapsed onto the bottom section. So, when I say earthquakes are very powerful, imagine the force it takes to make a bridge collapse. Right now I'm standing right near the San Andreas fault line, and over there is where the Hayward Fault runs through across the bay. There are many major faults in California that are parallel to the San Andreas Fault, like the Hayward Fault. This results in a curious effect. While the Pacific Plate is moving northwest relative to the North American Plate at an average rate of about 2.5 inches per year, about as fast as your fingernails grow, the average slip rate along the San Andreas Fault is less, about 1.5 inches per year. I am in Daly City on Skyline Boulevard, and going south here is where the fault line runs through Los Angeles. And from the north, this is where the fault line runs through the ocean. I'm in St. Pablo, a city in the East Bay, and I am on El Coto Drive, and I am standing here on the Hayward Fault that runs from here to here. The Hayward Fault is one of the most dangerous faults because it's very populated and many people live here, so many lives can be affected by living on this fault. Living in Northern California, there are places that are more dangerous than others. For example, living in Sacramento is a lot safer than living in San Francisco, where earthquakes are very common. California is one of the most seismically active regions in the world because more than 300 faults crisscross the state. California sits atop two of Earth's major tectonic plates, the Pacific and North American plates. California faces an almost certain risk of being rocked by a strong earthquake by 2037. Scientists from the United States Geological Survey stated in the first statewide temporal forecast issued in 2017. New calculations reveal that there is a 93% chance that a magnitude 6.7 quake or larger will strike in Northern California within the next 30 years. Scientists are also concerned about the Hayward Faults, which have a 31% chance of producing a Northridge-sized temblor in the next 30 years. So what should you do to prepare, and what should you do in the event of an earthquake? First, you should check for hazards. Secondly, you should create a disaster preparedness plan. Then, you should practice drop, cover, and hold on drills. After doing that, you should prepare for survival kits. Lastly, you should identify weaknesses, drop to the floor, evacuate if necessary, check for injuries and damage, and then follow your plan. Living in Northern California is wonderful. Just be prepared and know what to do in case of an earthquake.